The sirens were still screaming when everyone froze. Glass shattered. Smoke crawled through the air. People were shouting names, important names. But no one noticed the man holding a little girl's backpack. He didn't wear a suit. Didn't have security. Didn't even look back. Minutes earlier, the city's most powerful female CEO had been stepping out of her car when chaos erupted, a speeding truck, a crushed barricade, and one split second where death chose a direction. Everyone panicked. Except him. He saw it before anyone else. He dropped his coffee. Pulled his daughter behind a pillar. Then ran toward the danger. "Ma'am, move." She didn't hear him. So he grabbed her arm and shoved her hard, so hard she hit the pavement. The truck missed her by inches. The explosion followed. People screamed. Cameras flashed. Security swarmed. And when the CEO looked up, shaken, bleeding slightly, she searched for the man who saved her life. But he was already gone. That night, every news channel called it a miracle. A mystery hero, they said. A guardian angel, the comments read. The CEO replayed the moment again and again. Not the crash. Not the fear. But his face. Tired eyes. Calloused hands. The way he checked behind him, not for praise, but for his child. She wanted to find him. Not to reward him. But to thank him. 3 days later, she saw him. At a small school pickup. He stood near the fence, jacket worn thin, helping his daughter zip her bag. She froze. That's him. Her driver confirmed. It. No security record. No social media presence. Just a name. A single dad. 2 jobs. 1 quiet life. She stepped out of the car. People stared. The CEO of a billion-dollar company, walking toward a man who didn't even notice her. "Excuse me," she said softly. He turned. Recognition flashed, then confusion. "It was you," she said. "You saved my life." He shifted uncomfortably. "I just did what anyone would." "No," she said. "They didn't." She offered her hand. He hesitated, then shook it. "I owe you everything." He smiled politely. "My daughter was there," he said. "Couldn't let her see that." That was it. No speech. No request. No mention of money. Just a father, protecting the world his child lives in. She offered him a reward. He declined. A job. He declined. Public recognition. He shook his head. "Some people just want to go home on time," he said. "And make dinner." He turned to leave. Again. Fading into the crowd. Months later, a new foundation quietly appeared. No press release. No headlines. It funded single parents. Paid school fees. Covered medical bills. Its first beneficiary? A little girl with a familiar backpack. And a father who never asked to be seen. But changed a life simply by choosing courage when it mattered. Heroes don't always wear suits. Some just hold their child's hand, and walk away. The world moved on. The CEO's face returned to magazines. Stock prices stabilized. The city forgot the chaos. But the man who saved her life woke up every morning at 5:12 a.m. Not because he wanted to. Because he had to. His alarm was soft. Old phone. Cracked screen. He turned it off before it could wake his daughter. She slept curled around her stuffed rabbit, the same one she carried the day of the accident. He watched her for a second longer than usual. Because that day still replayed in his head. Not the truck. Not the explosion. The moment he let go of her hand. Breakfast was simple. Toast. 1 egg split in half. Milk measured carefully. "Daddy, are you tired?" she asked. He smiled. "Just thinking." She nodded like she understood more than she should. At school drop-off, other parents talked about promotions, vacations, plans. He talked about nothing. Because silence was cheaper. Across the city, the CEO sat in a glass office that overlooked everything. She had survived boardroom wars, hostile takeovers, ruthless competitors. But none of that haunted her like him. She ran his name through every system. No criminal record. No scandals. No ambition trail. Just late rent payments. Overtime shifts. Hospital bills from years ago. Her chest tightened. He didn't save me because he was brave, she realized. He saved me because he was already used to sacrifice. That night, he worked his second job. Warehouse. Cold floors. Heavy boxes. His hand still ached from the day he shoved a stranger out of death's path. A coworker nudged him. "Hey, you hear about that CEO accident? Someone saved her life." He shrugged. "Yeah. I heard. You ever think what you'd do with that kind of money?" He didn't answer. Because money wasn't what kept him awake. It was time. The kind he never had enough of. Later, walking home, his daughter skipped beside him. "Daddy," she said, "that lady you pushed, was she nice?" He stopped. "She was scared," he said finally. "Oh," she replied. "Then I'm glad you helped her." She squeezed his hand. And just like that, every doubt disappeared. Across the city, the CEO stood alone in her penthouse. She looked at the skyline, then down at a single photo her assistant had quietly obtained. A man at a school gate. Head slightly bowed. Hand holding a little girl's. No spotlight. No applause. She whispered to herself. People like you shouldn't carry the world alone. And for the first time since the accident, she made a decision that wasn't about profit. It was about purpose. She didn't want to save him. She wanted to stand beside him, without him ever knowing why.it happened on a rainy evening. The kind where the city feels heavier. Where mistakes echo louder. He was late. Again. Traffic crawled. His phone buzzed with missed calls from the school. By the time he arrived, the gates were closed. His daughter stood alone under the awning, eyes red, clutching that same worn backpack. "I'm sorry," he said, kneeling in front of her. "I tried." She nodded, but her voice trembled. "I thought you forgot me." That sentence cut deeper than any Bill ever had. Inside the school office, the staff wasn't kind. "Sir, this can't keep happening." He stared at the floor. "I know. What if something happened to her?" Something already had. Every day. Across the city, the CEO was leaving a charity gala she didn't care about. Flashbulbs. Smiles. Applause. Then she saw him. Standing outside the school gates. Soaked jacket. Head bowed. A little girl holding his hand like it was the only solid thing left in the world. Her chest tightened. Not coincidence. Fate. She dismissed her driver. Walked across the street. No cameras. No assistants. Just a woman who owed her life, watching the man who saved it crumble quietly. The school principal stepped outside. "We'll have to report this if it continues." The girl squeezed her father's hand harder. He swallowed his pride. "I understand." That's when the CEO spoke. "I'm sorry," she said calmly. "Is there a problem?" Everyone turned. Recognition hit like thunder. The principal froze. Teachers whispered. The single dad stiffened. She looked at the staff, not with power, but clarity. "This man saved my life." Silence. And if you think a delayed pickup defines his worth as a parent, then you don't understand sacrifice. The principal tried to speak. She raised a hand. No reports. No warnings. She knelt in front of the child. "Hi," she said gently. "Do you like art?" The girl nodded. "My building has a studio," the CEO smiled. "Maybe you can visit someday." The father stepped forward. Uncomfortable. "You don't have to do this." "I know," she replied. "That's why it matters." Outside, rain still fell. But something had shifted. She handed him a simple card. No logo. No title. "Call me," she said. "When you're ready." He looked at it, then at his daughter. For the first time, he didn't say no. He thought the rain was the worst thing that night. He was wrong, because accepting help would cost him more than pride.